Welcome to Variant Edition, the first weekly show about comics and comic culture. Season 2 begins now.
Okay, so why Season 2? Well, we've been doing our show for about a year now. The first episode came out February 16th, 2006, but we actually started work on the show about a month before, so it's been about a year. The big differences for Season 2? Well, we're going to slowly roll out a few things. Primarily, we're going to focus on our distribution right now. We're going to expand ourselves to some more sites, and hopefully have some surprises for you, but for that, you're going to have to stay tuned.
That's right, stay tuned, and tell your friends.
Oh yeah, and in Season 2, we're actually going to send out those DVDs and t-shirts.
Promises, Kevin. Anyway, so it's time to get the show actually started here. We're going to talk about what we always talk about here at Variant Edition. Since it's Season 2, nothing has changed that much anyway. We're going to start off with comics, and this week I'm taking a look at X-Factor, Wolverine, and Silent War. Nick's taking a look at War of the Undead, and Jen's taking a look at Wraithborn. And of course, Variant Edition would not be Variant Edition without our statue expert. Mr. Swistak, what do we got?
Remember a couple weeks ago we had the Green Goblin from SideShow Collectibles? Well, this week we got the Spider-Men from SideShow Collectibles. So we'll take a look at them and be back in a little bit.
So what's black and blue and red all over? Spider-Man. So we've got all those reviews, plus Kevin's behind the counter. But right now we're kicking it off to Nick with the news.
Thanks, Mike. Hi, I'm Nick, and this is the news for the week of Wednesday, January 24th, 2007. Well, it's a new year. That means beginnings and endings. Let's start with some endings. DC Comics' Manhunter will be ending with issue number 30. The series was previously cancelled with issue 25, but got a stay of execution. But the axe falls in April. In more cancellation news, Firestorm is ending with its 35th issue. But never fear, DC has said to expect Firestorm in a team book sometime late this year. And while not a cancellation, our good friend Mike Oeming has had his upcoming comic, Omega Flight, changed from a regular ongoing series to a mini. If the series does well, then it will be upgraded to an ongoing series. From the man himself, quote, "The best way to see Omega Flight become a series is to pre-order the book. There is simply no better way to support a title," unquote. Expect a review of the first issue in an upcoming episode. Spawn will be getting a new beginning starting in issue 166. Series writer David Hine has managed to tie up all those loose ends and conclude all the previous storylines. What comes next will be a more realistic horror-based premise, and the superhero aspects are gone. Sounds like Todd's trying to do a Sandman-esque revamp. Seeing as how the once top-selling title rarely breaks the top 100 lately, figure something's gotta give. Expect to see Brian Wood and Rob G's The Couriers on the big screen. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Rogue Pictures and Intrepid Pictures have the film rights to The Couriers graphic novel series. Originally published as 3 graphic novels, The Couriers feature Mustafa and Special, taking on jobs that other couriers may pass on, usually involving lots of gunplay. Lost writer Javier Grillo Marxuck is on board to adapt. Not content with only being a reoccurring character on the CW Smallville, Oliver Queen is jumping into your pocket. Now, before you get any funny ideas, he'll be on your phone. Sprint has announced that Smallville Legends: The Oliver Queen Chronicles, a 6-episode animated series, will premiere Thursday, January 18th, exclusively on its TV SM mobile video service. Then the rest of us will be able to see it starting February 22nd on CWTV.com. Crossband marketing at its best. Free Comic Book Day is still a few months away, but publishers have already started announcing what goodies fans can expect. Archie Comics will be continuing its support of Free Comic Book Day with 2 all-new original comics, Little Archie and Sonic the Hedgehog. Both will feature new stories and art. While Free Comic Book Day selections tend to be a mix between reprints and original stories, expect Image Comics' contribution to also fall in the new category. The Astounding Wolfman will act both as Image Comics' free comic and also as the first issue of Robert Kirkman's new series. Yes, that Robert Kirkman. The Walking Dead and Invincible writer is using the best marketing idea there is. Give the first taste for free and get them hooked. Joining Kirkman on the superhero werewolf title will be Jason Howard, providing complete finished art. In case you're wondering, Free Comic Book Day is Saturday, May 5th. And in further movie news, Marvel Studios has announced that its 2008 Iron Man has gained another star, Gwyneth Paltrow. Paltrow will be joining the stunt-casted Robert Downey Jr. as Virginia Pepper Potts. Tony Stark's indispensable personal assistant. Anyone else worried that a film with that many stars may not live up to the hype? And speaking of hype, SideShow Toys released images of Medicom Toys' upcoming Venom action figure from Spider-Man 3. The figure will be available in the US through SideShow Toys for $99. With rumors speculating that Venom won't get much screen time, fans can take the power into their own hands and have Venom creep out your similarly scaled Barbie. By now, our viewers should know that we here at Variant Edition love Mouse Guard from Archaea Studios Press. Well, you can guess how happy we are when we heard that Diamond Select Toys and Archaea Studios Press have agreed to produce collectibles based on the series. We'll have to wait until the International Toy Fair in February for more details, but the thought of Mouse Guard toys and statues has us intrigued. And in odd toy news, expect Marvel Comics' Fing Fang Foom to be this year's oversized and hard-to-acquire HeroClix figure. The Kirby-created monster should first show up on game tables and eBay shortly after this summer's Wizard World LA. And finally, George Perez has announced on his website that after April's Pittsburgh Comic-Con, he won't be making any convention appearances until 2009. The move comes as part of his desire to keep a monthly schedule on his soon-to-premiere Brave and the Bold series. He also wants to spend more time with his wife. Having had the chance to meet Mr. Perez in Baltimore last year, I can only say his absence will be a loss to the convention circuit, but I applaud his desire to have a monthly scheduled book and taking the steps needed to maintain it. Guess we'll have to wait until 2009 for another interview. Well, that's it for the news this week. Oh, wait, we have a last-minute edition. Rob Riley wanted us to make sure that we mention that Rob Schrab will be concluding Scud the Disposable Assassin. Cool. It's been quite some time since issue 20 came out. Expect more news as it becomes available. Thanks for the heads up, Rob. Well, I'll be back a little bit later, but up next, it's Mike Swistack with the Toy and Statue Review.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Mike.
And I'm Jen.
And we're here for Variant Edition's Toy and Statue Review for this week.
We got a couple Spideys here, huh?
Yeah. These are SideShow Collectibles.
Premium format.
Quarter scale. Spider-Mans. They're, I think they did 4 of them total, actually.
That's a lot of Spidey.
Yeah, it is. All kinds of variants. They did the original one. I think they did about 1,000 pieces of the red and blue suit, sans the camera. Camera was an exclusive one they did, which I think they did between 500 and 1,000 possibly with the camera.
Red and black one,
yeah,
right?
red and black. That is the retro exclusive, that one. And that one they only did 75 of.
Oof.
They all came out around 250, 300. This guy is going for between 600 to, I guess, upwards almost 1,000 on eBay.
Ouch.
Crazy hard to find because of how limited they were.
So if you can find it, get it.
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
And then they did a negative version, which I haven't seen. I've only heard about. Yeah, it's like the white parts are black, the black parts are white, the red parts are gray. Haven't seen it. Sounds interesting, but haven't seen it. Okay, now let me get down to what I don't like about them. The pose is very cool. The sculpted parts are very cool. I got a problem with the cloth outfit. I had a little bit of a problem with that with the Green Goblin, which actually I like a lot more than the Spider-Man even.
We've been discussing this at length, since the Green Goblin came out, and how we felt about the scale of the cloth with the scale of the sculpture.
Yeah, the cloth would probably need to be a lot finer material to really look like it was to scale with the figure.
You're right. The seams, to me, because it's such a bulky fabric, it's a bit problematic because you've got this kind of smooth area and then you kind of got a little bit of a lump where the seam is at. Plus, it hides a lot of detail, doesn't it?
Yes, that's my big problem. If you feel on the side of the knee or pretty much anywhere on the leg, you feel a really nicely detailed sculptural musculature. Just like all of these, you feel the negatives. The material covers it right over it. You just don't see it. That's my biggest problem. They're very cool. Next to the Green Goblin, they're amazing looking. But the cloth bothers me. You could have sculpted that musculature like they did, but laid a little bit of that cloth texture on there and you would have been in.
Right.
I understand what they're going for with it, the outfitted thing. And it's nice, but I got a little problem with it. But they are very nice looking.
And I want to point out, I'm not very happy with the transition between the cloth
and
the sculpture on the Spidey. The Green Goblin, they handled it a little better.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a little bit too drastic right there.
Yeah, I agree.
Faces are nice, though.
Yeah, They are. The bases are great. The base is nice, very realistic looking rooftop and such, but nice.
Yes.
Basically, I like them. Get them if you can. If not, at least see some pictures of them. You can admire them that way.
Or check them out at your local comic shop.
Yeah. Okay. Now we got a little tiny bit of a new segment. They got me on my meds that'll give me a little tiny bit more responsibility and see how I handle it. What we're going to discuss now, quickly, is a somewhat new feature. We're going to talk about, you see things we have here. You're always seeing the new stuff we get in. Well, let's discuss things coming out. You check out your new preview guide. A little tiny bit late for the January one, and we'll get on it quicker soon.
But there's a lot of neat stuff in there this time.
Yeah, there is. In the statue section, main section I'm into, lots of nice stuff. My pick from it would be, if you're going to get the chance, check it out, the Bowen Apocalypse statue.
Oh, that was awesome.
It's great.
That was awesome.
It's very nice looking, just like all this stuff. But, I mean, supposedly it's going to come with an interchangeable arm and a gun arm and stuff. Really looks cool. But check back with us next week, a week after, at some point, and we will probably have another review section there for statues from us, which would be nice. You know, you get to see things before they come out, or at least if you don't see them, you get to hear about them from us, what we think is up and coming and cool.
And get an idea of what you might want to pick out from the previews guide.
And it helps, too, because if you see something you like or we tell you something you like, you get the chance to order it as opposed to seeing it after it comes out and having it almost impossible to get. So that's that. All right. New business.
Oh, really? We're on to new business now?
New business. New business now is that we have had so many statues coming in that I would like to review in the last month. I'm still just getting over the holiday party, and that's why I ain't been around much, that we are going to try next week after, again, when we get to it, to do maybe more shorter, so we can fit a couple in, like the comic reviews of stuff that we got, because there's just so many things.
And that'll be nice. You can fit some more stuff in. And
get a little bit more variation, a little bit more taste, you know? All right? So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good one. It's good to see you again. And I think that's it.
Take care.
Have a good one.
So Wolverine number 50, this is where Jeff Loeb takes over, and I don't have a problem with Jeff Loeb taking over any comic. So, this is a great, it's an interesting story. I believe it's all sort of a gathering of past memories that Wolverine's having, and it's combining Sabretooth joining the X-Men because of the whole House of M thing. It talks about these furry creatures in the beginning of the book, probably some sort of like pre-Wolverine, his girlfriend, Silver Fox in Canada, Wolverine hates Canada, Alpha Flight, joining Alpha Flight, his costume with the whiskers. It's really interesting. I don't know what Jeff Loeb is going for yet. I hope it's just a collaborative group of memories coming together and Wolverine being very confused to the end, trying to figure everything out. I'm liking this arc, and I say if you like Wolverine, you like Jeff Loeb, you might want to start picking it up.
Insanity ensues as it's Batman, Superman, Alien, and Predator thrown in one comic. Now, we know that these figures have crossed paths before, but never this, 4-character ensemble, which was just insane. Predators are apparently in the base of this volcano that Lois Lane and Clark Kent are looking into, and Batman shows up because some crap's going on with this volcano. But anyway, at the base of this volcano, there are apparently predators that have been here since our Ice Age, who, landed on our planet, their ship got banged up, they couldn't leave. So it's predators. The aliens that they brought on board for their, hunting rituals and all, just living in this volcano and all this heat up in, some mountains. I don't even remember where. The Himalayas. Something like that. And, Batman, Superman stumbled upon them. Batman he has to, earn himself for the Predators, which is always good, because the Batman vs. Predator comics were great. And he takes down, their one big guy with this, electric shock thing. So all the Predators are like, oh my god, this guy just, kicked his ass. We gotta do what he says now. So he's kind of buddy-buddy with them and figuring out how their civilization is. And the aliens are there. You see Superman rough them up a bit because, they're aliens, they're mindless things. And one thing I really liked about this was Batman and Superman are trying to figure out what we can do with these characters. And it was brought up as a joke, to let the volcano just take care of them. But apparently Batman and Superman hold life in such a high respect that they're going to risk, whatever they got to bring the Predators and these aliens back to their well-deserved planets. That respect for life is something our military might want to look into.
I am very sad. Took a look at Anita Blake's Guilty Pleasures, issue number 3. It's not doing it for me. Why? The artwork's still not there. It's still not on point. She's still got thunder thighs. They even make a point about going about in the story how she runs a lot because she, doesn't want fat thighs. And yet she still has these immense hips. Story picks up where we last left off. Anita meets up with Nicholas, the master of the city, the master vampire. She's a child vampire. Very scary. She's got blue glowing eyes. Jean-Claude kind of fends her off so that Anita can get away. Story's pretty good, I enjoyed the story. I read the books. I know what's going to happen. I know the story's quality. It's just the art's not doing it for me. My suggestion? Go to the bookstore and pick up the book.
Silent War, number 1. Inhumans versus humans, as it would appear to be thus far, because at the end, Black Bolt's very indecisive. What we're dealing with here is the government has the Terrigen crystals, the ones that make the Terrigen mists, and therefore allow the Inhumans to mutate. The Inhumans want them back, and they want to do it non-violently, but there's a mistake. They send out a group of inexperienced Inhumans, a guy by the name of Gorgon who makes earthquakes and is kind of like a centaur sort of a deal, or like a half-man, half-goat sort of thing. He stomps his foot, makes an earthquake. There's an electric chick who can control electrical devices. There's a guy who can control plants, and there's a telepathic or telekinetic, or maybe both. I don't know what's going on yet with her. Regardless, there's a problem. They go to a high event, a big event. It's an opera, a bunch of who's there in the audience, and they accidentally kill like 27 of them and harm another 150. Black Bolt doesn't like this. The four little group, they're taken down by the Fantastic Four. They're thrown into a jail, and they're kind of being interrogated. And they hit Gorgon with the Terrigen mists for a second time, which you're not supposed to get hit twice with Terrigen mists. They didn't know what was going to happen, and well, now you see he's kind of like a mutated beast type of thing, and I don't think he's very human anymore at all. I'm pretty sure he's just the inhuman part. Not even inhuman. I think he's just a beast now. They kind of ended the comic abruptly. I'd like to see where it goes from here, and if Black Bolt is going to declare open war on the United States. Pick it up.
So, War of the Undead. If anybody likes anything cool, pick this up. Not only is it about Nazis trying to raise the dead so that they can, overrule the world, it's drawn by the guy who's got the fastest dog on the block, Walt Flanagan. Thing that's great about this, the artwork, I don't know if anybody else has read Carney, which was another thing that Walt Flanagan did. He did the art for that. It was kind of rough, but his art for War of the Undead, much better. A lot of bright reds, yellows, very imposing colors. It's kind of sloppy, kind of clean, has a very, very nice look for it, especially for their topic. They got Nazis and monsters. What better way to do that than with some gritty, bloody, yet nice artwork? So the whole basis of this is it's going into the insanity of how the Nazis were. There's a nice 3-page intro that says how determined the Nazis were to have a world, ruled by a supreme race, that they went through any lengths to figure this out. And they have nice little boxes. They have like a gorilla with like a Nazi band on his arm with like this glowing green thing with a brain in it. They got a nice Robbie the Robot looking thing getting shot at. These are like the failed attempts that the Nazis tried. But the one that they're going into now kind of brings back the Universal monsters. There's one captain or whatever rank you want to give this officer, who brought back a mummy who does his bidding now. And they met up with somebody who had to cut off the balls of Hitler after he died to try to bring him back. Long, weird story. I think they're going to put Hitler's balls into the Frankenstein monster and bring back, like, Franken-Hitler. I don't know. It sounds cool to me. The story was a hoot. Anybody, if you like crazy, messed up Nazis doing crazy, messed up things with Universal-type monsters, definitely check it out.
X Factor number 15. I've been reviewing this comic from the get-go, and I really like this comic. I enjoy what they're doing with the Multiple Man and the smaller characters that they're bringing in, and keeping around Layla Miller is always kind of cool from the whole House of M thing. See how that's going to pan out. As we left off, Multiple Man went out into the world to pull together all of his duplicates so that he can become one again, literally, not just, metaphysically of collecting his soul sort of a thing. It's kind of a deceiving cover. It's got Multiple Man in a Hydra costume, and well, actually multiple men in Hydra costumes. But don't worry, it's just about what's going to happen in the story as he kind of gets mistaken for a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent duplicate and ends up being taken captive by Hydra, who tries to turn him into Hydra. And then eventually he absorbs the S.H.I.E.L.D. guy back in. Regardless, and the only other thing that happens in this comic is that while in Paris, while Monet, St. Croix, and Siren have been hanging out in Paris, drinking coffee and whatnot at a shop or cafe or whatever you want to call it, they witness a small mutant town sort of thing, and they go to stop it non-violently, but it gets very violent very quickly, and they end up in jail, and Monet ends up killing a guy. And they're in France, so I can't wait to see how that's going to pan out.
Now here's a book that makes me really happy. This is Wraithborn. It's by Benitez and Jenn. This is a book you have to read. It's awesome. I'm sorry, there's no better word for it. The story pretty much is about, it starts off, high school teenager, doesn't quite fit in. If you're a fangirl comic chick like me, you understand where she's coming from. People make fun of her. Her mother's dead, taking care of the whole family. Father's not in too great of a shape, but, she's trying, keeping things together. Goes and visits her mom's gravesite. She gets attacked by this massive guy. Just when you think things are going to get really bad, he's going to do some dirty deed to her. He tells her to be strong and hands off some powers to her. Awesome. The artwork is stunning. Story goes on where she has this power. She wants to get rid of it. It's just way too much. She's seeing demons and hellhounds and all kinds of beasties coming after her. She can't take it anymore. Her friend Zoe's telling her, trying to advise her. Her grandmother's a voodoo kind of healer type of person. So it's kind of cluing her in a little bit as what's going on. She's got this otherworldly, alienish type of glowing chick named Brigitte. She's some kind of, super entity hunting her down for this, Wraithborn thing. Everybody's looking for some kind of amulet, some kind of weapon. That's the actual Wraithborn. Turns out the Wraithborn is inside our main character. And she can't get rid of it. Well, she can, but, they have to kill her to get rid of it. She winds up doing very well with the power. She opens a whole lot of whoop-ass on all kinds of denizens and creatures. The artwork, like I said, is just fantastic. It's got a, Japanese kind of, I don't know if you've ever heard of Takaya, but check that out on the internet. Takaya, he's got this really neat armored style, very oriental type of artwork. I just love it. I've shown it around to the guys at the shop. They love it. If you haven't picked it up yet, pick it up today. Definitely great for you fangirls out there. And you know what, guys? You're going to find something that you like out of this, too, because there's lots of great monsters. Some big muscle guys, and lots of scantily clad women, too. So, you should be able to appreciate that. Check this out today.
All right, so technically this is a new feature of the show called Bullet Points. This would technically be Bullet Points number 2, but due to some technical difficulties, this might be Bullet Points number 1. Quick explanation. Bullet Points are a quick breakdown of what's going on in the comics or how comics make us feel or quick opinions about the comics. It's going to happen really fast. We're going to go through a bunch of comics. And I'm going to start off with Ultimate Power Director's Cut number 1. I didn't read the first Ultimate Power number 1, so this is the first time looking at it. I thought it was really well put together comic. It's got a bunch of Ultimate characters in there that I've grown to love and enjoy, and if you like the Ultimate Universe, definitely pick this up because it also combines Supreme Power, which I didn't read all of, but I read enough to know that I liked Supreme Power. The next comic I read was Fantastic Four number 542. Dealing with the Civil War, what we have is Reed Richards and Johnny Storm meeting up for a cup of coffee, trying to discuss how exactly what they're doing is good for Civil War. If it's not good for Civil War, am I doing the right thing? He brings in a villain who can think just as much as Reed Richards, but then discovers that he can't because Reed Richards is working on a mathematical equation that will explain everything major that happens in the world. However, he's off terribly and doesn't know if he's doing the right thing. The next one I took a look at was Shadow Pact. Shadow Pact number 8 picks up with the congregation showing up, knocks them all blind, they put Ragman to sleep, and you find out more about Ragman's past, which is awesome. involves his dad, handing down the costumes, telling him what's happened, and Soul gets its wings. Detective Chimp #1, or the Helmet of Fate Detective Chimp #1. This is a story surrounding just Detective Chimp and what's going on with the Helmet of Fate. If you remember back in Infinite Crisis, he throws the helmet into space, Shazam does, and it says, let fate decide who gets it. Well, it lands on the Detective Chimp, and he gets amazing powers and becomes Detective Fate. More on that later. Don't know where they're going to go with it. Looking forward to it. Next one I took a look at is Doctor Strange the Oath. Doctor Strange the Oath picking up right where it was, going to deal with the other sorcerer that's out there that's playing evil games against Doctor Strange. Hired a man with a gun, Hitler's gun. Remember that? Comes into play in this comic. Interesting story. Wong dies. Cable and Deadpool. I don't remember the number of this comic, but I do remember it was great. It was Deadpool really wants to show off how great he is, that he can beat down, that he's the best mercenary, he can beat down anybody, including the Taskmaster, who we all know is a very quickly adapting supervillain who can just fight you, learn all your moves, and then counter everything. However, Deadpool gets the best of him and kind of proves that he is in fact the best, regardless of what anybody else says, and Taskmaster even admits to it. Now this one goes out to Laverne. I'm looking at Catwoman. This is one of the first times I picked up Catwoman in since 52, before 52 started? Can't remember. She's got a clear. There's been a murder, evidently, and Catwoman and the substitute Catwoman are now trying to combine forces to erase files from the detective's computer so that they can get rid of things. And you deal with Triple Trouble, who get doubled their ass handed to them. I think so. Next is the one that's really off my radar usually. Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. I picked it up because, well, it was a preview comic, and I decided, it's Spider-Man. Can't go wrong. I was wrong. Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane can be, in fact, wrong for all of us regular Spider-Man readers. It's actually more directed towards females and getting females into comics. It's more like Dawson's Creek meets Spider-Man than anything else. It's a great comic if you're trying to get your girlfriend into comics, trying to show her that they're not all that bad. They do have drama, and there is character development, and a bunch of other secrets going on. Peter Parker tells Gwen Stacy that he's Spider-Man, I think, because I didn't read the one before this, and then Mary Jane kind of finds out, I think, because they did that one weird. Off on the storytelling a little bit. If you're trying to get your girl into comics, this would be an excellent start. That's bullet points, and I hope you got all that.
All right, so once again, I'm taking that director's hat off, putting the retailer cap back on, and I've got something that's kind of near and dear to my heart this week. I don't want to use this to rant, but this week I have to. If you don't know already, I run a comic book store. I manage it. It's not mine, but I run the day-to-day operations. So I try to take a lot of pride in the presentation of the store. How does it look? How do the employees act? That kind of thing. Now, this week I was exposed to a store that I'm sure almost all of you, unless you're really lucky and you have a really cool store, have been exposed to. Dark and, not very well put together, and everything's just kind of thrown all over the place. And when people ask why comics don't get the respect and probably wider exposure that they deserve, it might be because of a lot of places like that. People forget that these are not their clubhouses. These are a place of business. This is a retail store. Any other market, it would not be acceptable. It's the clubhouse mentality that gets so many comic book store owners. This is a place to do business, to sell things. You're not doing this because you love it. Okay, you have to love it to do it. But you have to make money. And if your motivation isn't to make money and you don't know how to make money, maybe you shouldn't have a store. Now, I'm sure people could come into my store and say, oh, this is, you're being hypocritical because your store is not this or this or this. And it's like, well, you know what? Comic book stores should try to be well lit, have friendly employees, not have a television on that the employees are watching and not paying attention to their customers. That, oh my God, happens in so many stores nowadays. All right, so I could go on and on about, all these stores, but I think the point I'm trying to get at is this. A comic book store, the owners of these comic book stores have to realize that they're conducting business. That it's not their clubhouse, this isn't their personal collection, and these people coming into the stores are not their friends. They're customers. They have to sell them things, or else they close down. And I have to wonder that a lot of these places that are closing, I walk into it and I instantly know why they're closing. It's dark. People aren't friendly. There's a loud TV on that people are paying attention instead of paying attention to the customers. You know, again, it sounds like I'm ranting here, but I work at a comic book store, so obviously I take these things pretty seriously. I think the industry, there's a lot of guys that do good stores out there. And you don't have to be Barnes & Noble, but at the same time, the clubhouse mentality, something has to be done about that. And it's not anything that anyone can do from the outside. The owners of these stores have to realize that if they're going to grow and expand their business, they have to make it a place that people actually want to visit.
Okay, that's it for Variant Edition this week. Don't forget to check out variantedition.com for the full-length interview and perhaps some other goodies.
Along with the start of Season 2, we'll be revamping the website in the coming months. We haven't changed too much yet, but we have information on sponsoring Variant Edition. We're looking for sponsors, so check that out.
We'll also have a section up pretty soon on promoting Variant Edition and spotlighting all of you who already have joined the VE Army.
World domination through comics!
Seriously, though, a bit of programming note here. Viewers will already know that you can subscribe to us, Variant Edition here, through iTunes or watch us on variantedition.com or on YouTube.
In Season 2, we're expanding that to Google Video and livevideo.com, and we won't stop there, so again, stay tuned.
I won't be satisfied till we get on television. We'll also got our MySpace still up, and you can hit us all through our emails.
Yeah, we have Nick at Variant Edition,
Mike at Variant Edition,
Kevin at Variant Edition,
info at Variant Edition,
and for all you SwissStack fans, statues at Variant Edition.
and let's not forget about our new guy, Lewis, at variantedition.com.
And yes, we haven't forgot about the fan mail. Segment is coming.
We promise. But now for an important announcement.
This year's New York Comic Con is bigger, better, and has double the space, with more gaming and anime for 2007. Come join us at the Jacob Javits Center February 23rd to the 25th and experience the biggest pop culture event in New York City, featuring comics, anime, manga, graphic novels, video games, trading card games, RPG, MMOs, toys, movies, TV celebrities, and more. Guests of honor include Stan Lee, Jeff Smith, J. Michael Straczynski, and George Perez, with many more to be announced. This year also features an expanded artist alley with too many fan favorites to list. For a complete list of guests, as well as show information, visit NewYorkComicCon.com. And don't forget to visit us in the podcast arena. That's right, we'll have a table at the show. Stop by and say hello. Buy your tickets online now to ensure your spot for the 2007 show. Tickets are available now at a discounted rate for advance purchases at NewYorkComicCon.com. Don't miss out on the 2007 New York Comic Con. Visit NewYorkComicCon.com to get all the information you need.
So over the next month, you can stay tuned here at variantedition.com to find out more about the New York Comic Con. That's it for the show. The end of this week's episode and the beginning of Season 2.
And remember there, fans, shows don't really get bad until season, 6, so you got some time.
Yeah, we got at least 5 more seasons.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Very good. Let me give your new
Oh, we're doing that.
Singing our theme.
Yeah, so from now on, yeah, okay.